Hey guys, welcome back to According To. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. And for this week's episode, we kind of have like a general music theme. It's going to be a lot of recap. We went to the Jonas Brothers concert over the weekend, so a lot of time about that.
As well as Taylor Swift's new album. This came out, so if you're a Swiftie, hopefully you enjoy our little, I don't know if it's going to be a deep dive or a mini dive on the album, but we wanted to chat about that and kind of our thoughts. And then
just generally like concerts of the past that we've been to, how our concerts stack up and what we think makes a good concert, other concerts that we maybe want to go to in the future,
all that stuff.
But
before we do that,
we have to do our weekly spotlights, which arguably is, at least for me, probably the concert. I don't know if you had any other spotlight to share.
I would also say the concert. Tell me why I literally kept forgetting, like both leading up to the concert, like the week leading up to the concert, people would be like, what are you doing this weekend? Like just casually in conversation. And I, like, for the life of me, like, I could not remember I was going to this concert. And then also as I got back, you know, seeing patients this week, you know, topic of conversation, and like, I literally was forgetting I even went to this concert. Like, it's
you know, part of
crazy.
It might be is that, like, we've done so much traveling for concerts that it was more of like an event.
Right.
Versus this one being in Des Moines. It was like, go to the concert, go home, go to work the next day.
Right.
So
like, I kept forgetting. I was like, it's like I didn't even go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we'll dive into the concert as
we
our
should
weekly
each force
spotlight.
ourselves to think of like another spotlight.
Okay, do you have one?
The game night that we did
I was gonna say
on
that.
Saturday was fun. First time playing Codenames. That was a fun game. We should get one for. It was funny because as we were playing, after literally one round, Haley was like, "Ashton, we need to buy this." And it's like, wow, you are in it. But I agree. I think that we should add it to our game.
That'd be a good
repertoire.
like family game night one too.
Yeah, it would be,
because
we can just like
we haven't done our family game night in quite a while, so maybe need to get one on the calendar and someone buys that game.
So that was also your spotlight. Okay, reading updates. I believe I'm still reading the same book that I was reading last time we spoke. I'm still reading A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I think I have 2 hours left in the book. I would love to finish it probably tomorrow. I think that's likely.
I just finished reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I gave it 4 stars. I did a mix of reading on my Kindle as well as the audiobook on Spotify. I don't attribute this to the book because I feel like when I'm thinking about the content of the book, it really was a good book, and I feel like it's very classic Taylor Jenkins Reid in terms of like the characters you're getting. It's an interesting plot line, but I don't know if I was just like in a little bit of a reading slump. Like I just wasn't getting as much reading done as I try to usually. So it took me a little bit longer to get through than, you know, if I'm like loving a book, then like I will fly through that thing so fast. But I give it 4 stars still, and I enjoyed it, and I feel like it'll be a good discussion and book club book for our in-person book club.
We had talked about tentative rankings for you for your TJR books that you've read. Where does it stack up now?
I would say 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo would still be first. I've only read 3, right? And then this one, and then Daisy Jones in the 6.
Okay. Nice. Other book stuff that I kind of just wanted to chat about as far as like my future or incoming TBR that I possibly see coming. So once I finish my current book, I think I then need to read Atmosphere, and then I probably need to read our podcast book club book, which is My Friends, right, by Frederick Bachman. I'm actually excited. It's going to be both of our first Frederick Bachman books.
I do need, like, I feel like I need some sort of palate cleanser for myself. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I just need like something that hopefully I know I'm going to like just devour in a couple days, and then I think I want to read that one.
So otherwise, like high on my TBR, I have Queen of Shadows, next book in Throne of Glass. Like I want to like get back into that sooner rather than later so I don't forget stuff.
Like the fact that you're like that's the 5th book in the series.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I've yet to start, but I know that that's like the hardest part is just starting it.
And then what else did I have? Oh, The Night and the Moth is like also high on my TBR. And I need to throw in a nonfiction book at some point. So
you haven't really thought about like what those would be, have you?
My nonfiction picks?
Yeah.
I have a couple on my TBR. I talked about The Color of Law in our podcast about like our curriculum. I added Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green to my TBR. Oh, Charlie Donnelly has a new book out called Guess Again. So I added that. That's not nonfiction, but like towards the end of the year, I feel like I'm always just like in my like I need my Charlie Donnelly fix. If you guys have not read him,
End of the year only.
is that what?
Like that's you only want to ever read his books.
Like I think that's when I get the itch, and therefore that's when I read him, and like the rest of the year I just like forget he exists. Okay. Educated is one that I've heard good things about. Into Thin Air. Also like The Strength of the Few, not nonfiction, but that's coming out mid-November. So,
are you still? I think you are on track at least for your reading goal, correct?
I'm possibly one behind at this point, but let me see. No. Actually, no. It says read one book to get ahead.
I was 4 books ahead of schedule. Now I'm 3 books ahead of schedule. So I'm slowly, I'm ahead of schedule. So like first and foremost, but, yeah. Any other reading stuff to?
No. Do you have anything like upcoming or like highly anticipated for your TBR?
To be honest, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. I feel like so many of the releases happen like first quarter of the year that like, I don't know what. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. There is a book. The second one after Quicksilver, I think, Brimstone. That one comes out this fall, I think. I need to look. It's gonna have a different.
You know what's
cover.
the best is when you're like anticipating a release and you're like, oh, like this book comes out soon, and then like you look and it's already out.
Yeah, because you like forgot about it. Where is Fan Alchemy number 2?
Brimstone. I still have not read that book.
It comes out November 18th, 2025. So, I'm very excited. And I would maybe buy both of those books because the covers for the new ones look like that's what they look like now.
What does the first one look like?
Well,
I was about to say you're buying Quicksilver.
It's
like that.
Let me see if it has a different edition on here. I don't know.
What's
if
the
it
ugliest
does
book you think we own?
Are you thinking of one or?
I have like one, I guess, that I just thought of.
What's the one that indie published book? Kidnapped by My Maid or something?
I'm not counting those. I'm counting like traditionally published. But yeah, that one's ugly.
Ugliest cover we own. I don't know. I usually like I judge a book by its cover pretty hard, so
I'm thinking Confess, maybe. Or
really?
like some of the, I mean, it's not like, obviously we have like a standard that we like hold our books to, but I feel like I've gotten more picky.
Just the paint splatter?
Yeah, like I just don't love it.
Okay.
I mean, like I think we've gotten more picky, you know, the more into books we've gotten. That was like what our collectively like 4th book that we bought or owned. So, speaking of regretting you, Colleen Hoover.
I know, it comes out
movie.
So soon, end of this month.
So, I will probably go to theaters to see that.
It's going to look something like that.
Nice. That's much better.
Yeah. Which I feel like I had seen that a while ago, and then all of a sudden it's just like, I feel like I heard absolutely nothing about it, and so like it's kind of surprising me that it's coming out so soon. Because then we have stuff like People We Meet on Vacation, where like we've been hearing and knowing about it for like 2 years, and then it was like, blips. Okay, and now it's still not going to be released until January.
When they announced the cast for Beach Read, that is when I go insane.
I wish they wouldn't have done this. Well, actually, maybe that's a lie. Maybe I am glad they did this movie first. Because it's the one that I have like the lowest expectations for. Mm-hmm. So that could be a good
hard
thing.
too, though, because I think that like different producers and directors have like different rights to different books of hers. So
like they could be completely different vibes.
We'll just have to see. I have high hopes. So anyway, do you want to do our Life of a Showgirl?
Let's do that first.
Next. First of all, did you watch any of New Heights today? New Heights came out today, and it's like they kind of did their Life of a Showgirl.
I only saw like them previewing stuff, like their clip they posted yesterday, but I didn't watch or listen to any of the full episode.
I only listened to like their debrief. I'm not a regular listener of their podcast. I really only listen when like Taylor
Something
is
happens with Taylor Swift.
there in some way, shape, or form. But it was funny. Like Jason was like, "So Wood."
That's the one thing I saw.
Oh, that was the clip they used.
Well, yeah, but he didn't like. I just saw the teaser for it, and not any sort of debrief.
And then Travis was like, "Yeah, it's a good song." And then he's like, "How do you feel about? How do you feel about it?" So, yeah, they were just typing up their favorite songs. Jason was saying his favorite was Opalite.
I was gonna say, which one?
He also said Christmas vibes, like for the chorus.
Okay, I was gonna say he so seems like an Opalite kind of guy.
And then he liked Eldest Daughter, and he said Kylie liked Wishlist. So
it's you got to be married to like Wishlist is my thought.
Well, let's get into our thoughts. I don't have like an official ranking.
You know what's funny? I did actually make a ranking in my notes a couple days ago.
Oh, okay. Well, you can share yours. I don't have an official ranking. I feel like there are definitely songs like Honey. I have not listened to Honey hardly at all. Could be very good. Let me pull up the whole album on my
I've kind of
phone.
Been adjusting this a little bit as I've obviously been listening to it. My number one, so this is obviously like, why do I only have 11 songs on here? What did I miss? Hold on one second.
Clearly that one's your least favorite.
No, because I know which one's my least favorite. What's my missing song?
The Fate of Ophelia, Opalite, Elizabeth Taylor, Father Figure, Eldest Daughter, Wood, Canceled, Actually Romantic.
Okay, I don't have Eldest Daughter on here, so. Okay. This is kind of like, I just am throwing it in there and I'm like, maybe that's where it goes. Okay.
I have like my tops. I have my like middle. I would say I have like 3 tiers of what I would classify them as.
Like repeat, like
skip. I'm listening and then yeah. So my songs that I'm like putting on the rotation: Fate of Ophelia, Opalite, Father Figure, Wood, Actually Romantic.
Okay.
In no particular order. That was just reading them down.
My first one is The Fate of Ophelia, just because I feel like that is such a good bop, good single for the album, and I feel like there's like, I know people talk about cringy lyrics like throughout this album. We can talk about that as well, but like this was a song where I feel like it was just like all the lyrics were good. It was a good just like pop song. Obviously, we're not out here, being poets with this album for the most part, but like I just love the music, the melody, the vibes with The Fate of Ophelia. A great first listen. Like when I put that on, when I was doing my little run through when it first came out, I was just like, this sounds like great music to my ears. And it's continued to stay up there pretty high. My second one, I have Actually Romantic, which this one I see both on TikTok. I see a lot of people saying they like it, but then a lot of people like just like literally not talking about it at all. I like the little kind of petty snarkiness to this song.
Let's also, like, as an aside, I've heard people saying this song is about Charlie XCX. I have no thoughts about Charlie XCX. I don't know anything about her except for Brad. I'm just
listening to this song.
So I don't know what she did to Taylor, if anything. I really don't care. But as a, like, me being petty and, like, this is, like, a song about that, I love the concept of the song. I think it's fun to sing along to. I like it sounds like Beverly Hills. Yeah. There's a lot of also, like, mentioning of like songs and notes and whatever that these other songs and tracks sound like. I've again no comment about that.
I can like hear it. Yeah, I'll agree with that. But I like the vibe and the cadence of it.
Vibes. And I love people now talking about either in their personal life or like people defending Taylor like in relation to the album. People being like, "Oh, it's actually romantic that you're like talking about me like that." Yeah, it makes me laugh.
My third one.
When I sent that to Andrew, because like on Friday, we were like sending each other a song since we have like such vastly different music tastes. So obviously when this album came out, I was like, it's Friday. Let me find my favorite song from here. So I said that. And then like later when we were talking about it.
So you sent what
Actually Romantic. And then he was like, I like it, blah, blah. Later we're talking about the song. And I was like, isn't it funny how blah? And he's like, oh, I like thought it was like a love song. I was like, did you listen to the lyrics?
It's not. So love song. Did you listen? Yeah,
I was like, you need to
now previously like when I first was listening to the album, my third favorite would have been Wood. It's dropped down a little bit as I've listened a little bit more.
Or maybe
Because
things have just gone up.
some other things have climbed up a little bit. So my third one is Ruin the Friendship.
Okay.
This one is like, the more I've listened to it, it's just very like,
It's very like
almost
a story.
It's very much like a story, and I appreciate that. I think it still has a good vibe. It's almost giving like just older Taylor in terms of like, obviously his like context of the song. It's from her life back towards high school. So it kind of gives me like Fearless to Speak Now vibes a little bit. And I just, again, I like the cadence of the song, and I just think it's grown on me a lot as I've continued to listen. Next, now I'm like not sure if I agree with this or not, but we'll keep going. Next I have Opalite. Again, I feel like it's just because it's a pretty pop heavy song and it's catchy.
Opalite is one that I'm like, I turn it on and I just want to sing and dance.
Let it be known that like I also brought up, I need to start posting my thoughts and opinions on like out into the ether, so like someone else, so I can claim that I thought of it first already. Because I also, like, I sent a text to Ciera, Haley, and Maggie, and I don't know if this was like after a lot of people had already been saying this, but I already know I thought this to myself before I saw anyone else say stuff. I was like, this is giving Christmas. Like, and I could so envision like driving through a light show in the car and having this song on, and just like it would be a Christmas song. So like this will end up on Christmas playlists, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, like that song. Number 5, Eldest Daughter. This one, the bridge to the song is so good. So like that's what really like drags it to the top, but I just love the bridge to the song. I like the rest of the song. I know that like the lyrics to this one are definitely like a bit more cringy, but then it's also like, you know, Taylor herself as well as fans are kind of like, these are kind of meant to be satirical lyrics a little bit, just like in the context of the song. So I still sometimes like, I don't love all the lyrics, but I love that bridge so much.
Can I start getting into like my middle tier? So my top tier is like what, half the album. My middle tier is Wishlist, Elizabeth Taylor, and Canceled. Honestly, I haven't really been listening to The Life of a Showgirl like much at all.
Me either.
Or Eldest Daughter.
But it's not my last one.
Eldest Daughter and Life of a Showgirl are probably like, oh, and Honey are my bottom, I think.
Basically, you have like half the album you listen to and half the album you don't.
Basically. I couldn't even tell you what Honey sounds like right now. So maybe it is good and I just haven't been giving it a chance.
After Eldest Daughter, so number 6, I have Wood. Again, that was like a top 3 when I first went through, and I like that song. The other ones have just grown on me.
It's tongue-in-cheek. It's fun.
It's very pop. Sounds good. Number 7, I have Father Figure. This one has also, I've been noticing it's
be going up. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, yeah.
Taylor knew what she was doing. Then I have Elizabeth Taylor, and this one, like, interestingly enough, because it's the second song on the album, so I remember listening to it, and I really was like, this is a strong song as well. Like, I really liked the sound of it. It just, like, hasn't been one that's been, like, staying up on the radar. So, like, I do like the song, but it's not one I'm putting on, like, on repeat and going back to often. So that's why it's lower on the list for me. Then I have The Life of a Showgirl. I just really have not been listening to this one. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, cool by the Jonas Brothers. I heard this 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Doesn't do anything new. Then I have Honey. Again, I don't really have a whole lot to say on this. I haven't been listening to it as much. Then I have Canceled. And then I have Wishlist.
Megan hates Wishlist.
I just really don't like Wishlist. And I feel like, and not for any reasons that people are posting about, like, I feel like people have been, like, overly political or, like, trying to make statements about this album with really, like, what are we talking about? So I just really don't think the song sounds the best, honestly. And I don't really vibe with just the cadence and the melody of it. I'm also, like, not in that stage of life right now, so, like, that doesn't hit for me either, like, the messaging. But I was telling Ciera, I was like, I'm pretty sure, like, wives and people who are, like, you know, in this stage of their life, like, this song hits for them. So I love that for them.
Mm-hmm. So that is our Life of a Showgirl thoughts and opinions.
I will say, like, my first listen through, I was anticipating mild disappointment for the album, just because, like, generally speaking, for all my, as I've been a Swiftie,
for what,
the first
3
listen through, like, you're probably gonna be like, this wasn't really what I was expecting, and I'm a little disappointed. because I remember thinking that for the Tortured Poets Department, which like arguably like the
One of
Tortured
her, like-
Poets Department be staying like on my rotation. Like that's a banger of an album. But when I first listened, I just was like, I don't know that this was the
It's
album for me.
yeah.
And so this time through, I would say I tend to be more of a pop girly, so I was hopeful, but I also just again was kind of like, I don't know, you'd never know with the first listen through, you might be a little disappointed.
It's always kind of jarring, like listening to any song for the first time, but like just a whole album, you're like, I don't know this album at all. And like that's part of what's exciting about it. But I feel like I am someone who that's kind of a lie now. I was going to say I don't typically tend to like seek out new music. I actually have been kind of doing that a little bit more because I feel like my Spotify is kind of getting the hang of what I like. Like when a song on my release radar hits, then I'm like, ooh, like that song, keep it in the rotation. But I'm someone who typically just like listens to the songs that I know. Mm-hmm. And so, because I love to sing, if I don't know the words, then I'm like, why am I listening to this song? So, but that's the fun about when new songs come out. You inevitably learn them and then they become part of your rotation.
Anyways, that being said, my first listen through of the album, I was actually like, it was an overall positive experience. And I was like, I like where this is going. And like something about me too, even if I love an artist, like if someone releases an album and I go through and like don't vibe with it, like ain't no one forcing me to listen to that album. So then like I will not if I don't have to. But I have been like repeatedly listening to this album versus like Benson Boone with his second album that came out. I listened through and then like
Fireworks and
really
Rollerblades quite literally like my playlist for the year when that came out. And then his newest album, My American Heart, I was like, I like
even like the new Jonas Brothers album, like that, not a lot of those songs except for like their singles really ended up on my rotation. So like that wasn't an album that I like.
Backwards and Bully, those songs on that album hit.
And then, but this one, it's like, yeah, I obviously vibe with it because I've been just repeating it over and over and over again. So,
okay, let's get into our, speaking of Jonas Brothers, Jonas Brothers concert recap. If you guys are new here, Megan and I are huge Jonas Brothers fans. I would say, like, obviously when we were younger, like we were Jonas Brothers fans in the way that like every young girl was a Jonas Brothers fan. Like if you watched
but I would
Disney,
argue like we're bigger fans now than we've ever been.
Like this is kind of a funny story
think
related
of
to
this
this.
too.
My aunt on my dad's side gave me like for my birthday. She's just my godmother, so she didn't give Megan anything. It's because our dad's family is huge. Whatever.
I'm so sorry if you hear me clearing my throat. I am getting over a cold. So
and she had given me like a little like Jonas Brothers t-shirt and just like some Jonas Brothers merch for birthday present. And I was like, I'm not really even like a Jonas Brothers fan.
it was a little off-putting almost because
So,
like
I was like, what am I supposed to do
this
with
doesn't
this?
really fit me.
Now here we are, however many years later, I've been to 3 of their concerts. So this concert is the first one we didn't have to travel to. We previously went to their Happiness Begins tour in Omaha. That was when we were in college. Then we went to their
5
show
albums,
in
one night.
Houston, 5 albums, one night. That was in 2023. And then most recently on their like Jonas 20 Greetings from Your Hometown tour here in Des Moines. And I mean, I didn't make a sign, but like I really, as we were walking in, I was like, I should have made a sign. And we've been joking about how like this is like their Greetings from Your Hometown tour, and like this is the first time we're seeing them in our hometown. Mm-hmm. So like it would have been so funny if I could have been able to like make some sort of joke on a sign, because they would have seen it. I'm telling you, we were close. They would have read it. And I didn't post anything on Instagram, but like if I could have had like the perfect, like all of my captions that I posted, because I did post for the Omaha concert and then I posted for Houston, and I was able to like bring the tour name like into my caption.
What was your first one?
Chased Happiness all the way to Omaha. Boom. Second one was their 5 albums, one night. So I was like 5 albums, and then in parentheses I was like 4 flights, 3 hours of sleep, 2 sisters, one night. And then I could have easily done something related to being like greetings from my hometown at the Jonas Brothers. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, I just don't think I got a photo that needed to be posted. So
So we went with Haley. It was me, Ciera, and Haley. And this was Haley's first time going to the Jonas Brothers ever.
And when we were going to like buy these tickets, so like when I tell you our first concert, nosebleeds. Like we were in the absolute nosebleeds. I could barely see them.
Yeah. Great time though, still.
Fast forward to Houston, we're like, if we're going to Houston, if we're spending money to go this far anyways, we're going on a floor seat. Like we're on the floor.
Worth it.
And so then when we were talking to Haley about wanting to get tickets, we were like, you can join us on the floor, but like we'll be on the floor.
And Haley was interested in doing that as well. So we all paid for floor seats. I thought it was still worth it. If you've got like a top artist and you have the chance to get floor seats
and you're able to
do it. Do it.
Yes.
We got in, like, we're the type of people that like doors open, like we're there. That's just typically how we are, because what else am I doing? Waiting.
We also, like, our mom is out of town this weekend, so between the three of us, we're having to watch her dogs, and so they had to get fed at 4:30. So we were like, let's meet at my mom's house at 4:30, then we'll go get dinner, an early dinner, and then we'll go to the show. And like we finished eating dinner at like what, 5:30, and we're like, well, I guess let's go.
Yeah, we don't like waiting around, because then we're just like waiting to go to the concert, so you might as well wait at the concert. Nothing really crazy for outfits. It's interesting because it's like the Jonas Brothers. You can tell, like, I would say like the vibe is mostly like kind of tour t-shirts or something of that sort. Mm-hmm. It's very different than like Taylor Swift, for example, where it's like everyone goes like all out. A couple of people dressed as like Disney games characters, which I've seen before as well. But they had a DJ there, which was like meh.
And it's like a friend of theirs.
Probably that would make sense. And then they had Franklin Jonas. He was actually a nice surprise. He has a little band where it was like Franklin Jonas and the Byzantines.
I think so.
And so it was him and two other guys on the stage. And they did like 3 songs only, but it was fun. And I thought he had a good stage personality. It was not full at this point when he started because he was on pretty early. Like he was like the opener's opener, and he like got off the stage and like was running around like the lower part of the crowd, just like singing with people in the audience. And he did like a couple originals, and then he also did a cover of Yellow, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. But he was good. He had a good voice. Honestly, it reminded me of Zach Bryan like quite a bit. Just the way his voice sounds.
Before Frankie came on, I guess as he was coming on, I was just telling Megan and Haley that on my release radar, stuff that I was listening to, I was like, his song actually popped up, and I quite liked it. So he played that one as his last song before he closed for the night. And it was called what? Something Liquor. Let me pull it up.
I'm remembering he played like a new song as well that is supposed to come out
today?
Last
Friday. This Friday. Okay.
Village Liquors.
Yes. So I like that. Oh, that's cute. Here's a song with Joe on Joe's last album. So, anyway, we had made predictions before they came out. We're like, how do we think they're going to appear on the stage? Because for the Happiness Begins album, they like descended from above. They were on a platform that dropped from the ceiling. And then for 5 Albums One Night, it was like the opposite. They like rose from the stage. This one was a little bit, anticlimactic. They have like
I mean this with love and kindness, but like this tour seems like probably like the lowest budget tour that they've had in the last 3 we've gone to.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it was still great, but like just if I'm comparing, because I've been to the other 2, those are my thoughts.
So they were doing like fog and stuff on the stage, and then like I think they just had like a drop down stage, like the stairs they just walked up. I was like, oh, okay. Whatever, fair enough.
Some things, if I were to give this concert like a ranking out of 10, let's maybe do that. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
I was gonna say 7.
I think is where I'd put it. Again, it's hard because we've been to concerts that they've done before, so like I'm kind of comparing them to themselves.
Yeah.
And like
I know what
which
they're capable
ones.
Houston
Houston was
10 out of
so
10.
good. It was just incredible, amazing. I think part of it, some differences I noticed between this tour and the last one we went on was this tour I noticed, a little bit more fan interaction. So like, you know, if you like that or not, they like did a lot more. I felt like, you know, reading people's signs, or they did a portion of the concert where like if you hold up a sign to like request, they do a song that's like not normally in their set list, and they'll kind of do like a short little acoustic thing with that song,
which means they like literally sang 3 lines from the chorus and that's it.
Yeah, because good luck to them remembering the rest of it on the spot. I also noticed they did, to me it seemed like more individual music. Like they literally had like a Nick versus Joe battle with individual songs that like I knew Shane's, or it was Jealous that Nick did. No, he did Jealous separately. He did like one other song where it's like, oh, I know this one from you. And then Joe did like a DNCE thing to get started. And then the other follow-up songs they did after that, I was like, I consider myself a pretty well-versed Jonas Brothers fan, but I have no idea what we're singing here. So it always kind of like takes me out of the moment a little bit.
Yeah, like we said, we are, you know, singers first and then dancers second. So like, I want to be able to sing along to the song, and like that's obviously, it's their concert, their songs. Like, you know, my bad for not knowing the discography. But I would say like that part was also like, oh, like I don't know the words of the song. We also did not get to see Kevin sing his song. I know some concerts there's been like, I think it's during that section where they have like the verses where then like Kevin will come out after like they've both been up once and like do his song. I don't know when or how they decide like, is Kevin doing his song tonight, yes or no, but we did not get to witness that.
I also felt like the audio
was
just like a little bit
I don't know if that was like a Casey Center thing, or if it was like their equipment thing.
Because I was like, you guys should be louder. I should be able to hear you more, but I'm like not hearing you.
Or like it was like going in and out. Like if they turned their head too much, like you could tell like the sound was off.
So that was a little bit off-putting.
And at first, like I wasn't gonna say anything. I thought it was just like a me thing. But then Haley had mentioned it after the concert, and I was like, yeah, okay, it was a thing. Otherwise, I don't know if this is something they do for every show, or if this is something they do when they don't have like a special guest to bring out, because like our special guest, quote unquote, was Connect 3, aka they did their
is that how you interpreted that?
Yes.
Oh, I just thought that was part of their set.
It could be
for them to do the Camp Rock songs.
No, it could be, but then like, is the concert just longer when they have a guest?
Maybe
it could be. You guys have to let me know if you've been to one of their concerts where they also had a special guest but then still did the Connect 3 songs. Let me know.
We also had Big Rob, if he's considered a special guest.
He's probably
just called up like anytime they don't have someone else.
I don't know. That was a highlight though. Big Rob came and did his rap verse of Burnin' Up. That was the first concert that we'd been to where he actually was there. They obviously do Burnin' Up every time, but he's not always there. So that was fun. Trying to think of like, for this is technically like the Greetings from Your Hometown tour, but I feel like they didn't do like a ton. I mean, they did do like the singles, and they did Backwards, which like that was, you know, one of my hopes that they would do Backwards. But like Bully, I would have loved if they did.
I think that's part of why obviously their new album would not have been included in the last tour, but I think that's part of why I liked their last tour so much, is because like they really did hit just like all of the highlights from just like, it was like their Eras tour, and I was like, this is great. This is like all of your popular songs versus this just was a different format, a little different setup. Not all the most popular songs.
Yeah. So unless you have anything else to like reminisce on for this specific concert, we had
great seats though. Like,
yeah, we were
I do feel like our seats at Houston were better. Even though they were a little bit further, we were like straight on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this time we were closer, but like they're facing out for the most part. I mean, they do turn and, you know, talk and sing to the side as well. So like, I'm not gonna act like we had bad seats.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
So, our opener was Boys Like Girls, which other than the last song,
the millennials went crazy for them. I was like, I've heard of you guys. You know what's funny?
I think I was thinking of a different band. Like, I knew it wasn't because I've checked before, but when I first heard it was Boys Like Girls, I think I thought it was like 303 or something.
I feel like I also thought, who's the band that sings that song with Leighton Meester?
I think it's 303.
Because I feel like that's who I thought it was.
Slay. I was like,
and maybe it's because like Good Girls Go Bad. I don't know why I thought that was the band. Yeah, Good Girls Go Bad. That's by Cobra Starship. So like, I don't know why I thought it was them, but it's obviously not. But then I just remembered, talking about Boys Like Girls. We had this one girl specifically, but she was here with a friend. They had traveled from Minneapolis or something. And so like they were chatting with us before the concert, and she was nice. She like gave us friendship bracelets. And I was so jealous because like, I just kind of like grabbed one. I was like panicking, and then like Megan's like, "Oh, I got one that said bully," and I was like, "Wait!" I was like, "Give it back to me. I want to pick another one." I didn't, but mine was Cake by the Ocean, and then Haley got. Do you remember?
No,
I don't know, but I was jealous that Megan got bully.
You can have it if you want.
Thank you. I'll swap you. Like you can get both. But it made me laugh because the girl was like, "Oh, like do you like Boys Like Girls, or like do you know Boys Like Girls?" And Megan's like, "I honestly, like, I've heard of them, but I don't really know them." So, and she was like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "How old are you?" And then Megan goes, 26. And she's like, "Oh, I'm only 3 years older than you." But,
yeah,
and then, didn't she say she thought we were in high school?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
That's what I thought she said. Maybe she didn't, but I was like,
there's no way I look that young.
Dang. That's brutal. I really don't care, actually. But, anyway. So,
okay, should we talk about?
Should we do like an official ranking? Yes, I think so. Number 1.
This is
do
just
we
like
want to like just go
all concerts we've been to? Number 1 concert.
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bruno Mars.
Okay. Bruno Mars is my second.
Houston is my second. And if you guys know we went to the Eras tour and you were expecting that to be first,
fair.
I'm so sorry. Like that's so fair. Because that was the most we paid for any of these.
It's like the most I've paid for anything in my life.
No, it wasn't. But and we can explain why in a moment. We talked about Houston already, unless you have anything else you want to add to that.
No, I mean, I just, like you said, it was literally all of their hits. Like, it was banger after banger. I knew every single word.
That traveling also kind of like adds to the experience a little bit too. So like I've really enjoyed any time I've traveled for a concert. So, you know, feel free to travel. Like it is nice having the convenience of it being nice and close by, but I do feel like that adds just like the overall experience tied to the concert, which is sometimes fun. And then Bruno Mars for me, like I just like when he came out on the stage, because
he really is like a superstar, which like not to say Taylor Swift is not, like obviously she is, but like,
but I feel like it's just like he came on stage and like I could feel like something in my body shifted or something. It was just like he is such a performer. It's a more intimate space and studio, so like the way he was able to use such a small stage with like the lighting and music and just kind of like have a stage presence that he had, I thought was just like incredible. And quite literally, like Bruno Mars does not have a bad song.
And also like he sounds genuinely the exact same, like, you know, as his
amazing
music.
Vocals. His songs are all bops.
And like
everyone's
he has,
up
again,
singing.
Such a large discography that like, yeah, you know all the songs, but then like he's like, he pulls out Locked Out of Heaven, and then you're like, oh, then he goes into Leave the Door Open. You're like, oh my God.
You're just like banger after banger,
Grenade,
after
and then
banger.
Like, yeah.
Like you know, obviously there's many people I'd go to multiple concerts for. I've just went to the third Jonas Brothers concert, but like Bruno Mars, if his tickets weren't so expensive, because they're like $400 to $500, especially like once you get your fees and stuff included, and then you have to go to Las Vegas to go see him. But like I will probably at some point go to his concert again, and it's probably going to be the exact same show because that man does not release a new album, but it was just so good. I had a great time. Mm-hmm. So that was my number 1, and then Houston was my number 2.
Okay. Number 3.
I have to think of what all have I been to? Okay.
Number 3. Ready, set, Eras Tour. Okay. Obviously, like I said, expensive. Iconic tour. Do you think that having seen the Eras Tour like before we went like had an impact on like better, worse, whatever? I don't know. I feel like in some ways I feel like I knew exactly like what I was getting. You know what I mean? Right.
But that wasn't all. I agree with that. But that wasn't all bad because like it's such an amazing show.
Like, it's an honor to witness this.
Right.
To bear witness.
To, like, to just be in that moment and, like, to witness the iconic, like, to sing in the crowd with, like, All Too Well 10-minute version. Like, just really, really good, amazing, incredible. But in some ways, like, there's kind of, like, this deja vu of, like, I also saw this when I saw, like, the concert
And, like,
video
I've watched
and,
the
like,
TikTok
any other
clips,
time
and
I've watched the live
lives.
stream. So in that sense, like, there's, like, just a lot more going on in my head of, like, it's not just an experience tied to that one moment.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it maybe lowers it down a little bit.
And, like, our seats were decent, but, like, they weren't anything
Great, no.
special, amazing, whatever. We were, like, behind her for most of it.
Right.
So, like, we couldn't see the house at all.
Nope.
From our seats. So.
No.
But yeah, again, obviously, great performer, great night.
Love Taylor Swift.
Love, all of the music. So it was so much fun. And I think Travis Kelce was there, but we didn't see him. Like, we heard people,
We heard
like,
people screaming when he
and, like, I could tell he was, like, I could see
tell
where he
yeah.
was, but I couldn't actually tell where he was. And again, that was another one we traveled for. We didn't have tickets on our way to Indianapolis, but we pulled the trigger when we got there. Kind of probably knew that was going to happen, but okay, number 4.
I'm starting to struggle. Actually,
We
I
got
can
3
think
more.
of a couple. Are we not including any other Jonas Brothers stuff or no?
No, we are.
Then I'm thinking there's 4 more then.
Who am I forgetting? Okay, whatever. Just say your next. This is number 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Jonas
Benson Boone.
Brothers. I literally was forgetting Benson Boone. So now there's how many? 5?
Who am I forgetting?
Benson Boone's gonna be my next one.
Okay.
I completely forgot we went to that concert.
Again, great concert. I do feel like it was partly impacted by the fact that I hadn't really been listening.
If it would have been a tour that I went to for fireworks and rollerblades,
who knows where that would be?
Who knows?
But yeah, admittedly, when My American Heart, is that what it's called?
Something of the sort.
When it came out, like, I gave it a listen. I was like, Benson, not your best work.
American Heart? I don't know.
So, like, admittedly, I didn't really listen to it that much leading up to the concert. And then, like, week 2 before, I was like, I should start putting these in the rotation so, like, I know what I'm getting. And I heard some of them from, like, TikTok and stuff. Like, I was familiar with at least, like, the chorus. But that definitely was, like, again, I like to sing. If I don't know the words, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm dancing, but I'm not, like, there. So, great show, great performance. I think we said this when we, like, did our recap on that concert recently when we went, that, like, he did some, I don't know the technical term, if it was, like, technically a key change or something, but I felt like he had changed the way in which he performed some of the songs that made it, like, hard for me to sing along to. And like I said, I want to sing along. So if I can't sing along, I feel like you're throwing me off. Then I'm getting angry at you. I'm getting angry at you. So he did sing Love of Mine, which, like, is one of my faves from Fireworks and Rollerblades. That's, like, not a, like, top hit. So I appreciated that.
My next one is going to be Jonas Brothers Omaha.
Me too.
We've already talked about this, and it was a great concert.
That was, like, our first, I mean, we have to give them credit, like, our first foray, like, back into, like, the concert world, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Then I'm going Jonas Brothers Des Moines.
Did I not rank that yet?
No.
Oh. Well, I would probably, you put Omaha above Des Moines?
I think so.
I don't know. I'll agree with you right now. Sure.
And then do you know the last 2 concerts that I'm thinking of?
I know Jason Derulo.
Okay, that's what I was going to say next. That was the first concert we'd ever went to. And it was at the Iowa State Fair. We went and saw Jason Derulo. Gosh, we were in high school. What grade were we? Juniors?
You're seniors.
Seniors?
Because that was when he did our TC2.
We were going into our senior year?
Yeah.
So I still am a Jason Derulo fan, but, like, arguably definitely not as much as I used to be. But, like, I remember at the time, like, I'd probably consider him one of my top artists.
Well, like,
at the
when
time.
I tell you, I was, like, an iHeartRadio girly in high school. So, like, I would go to my iHeartRadio app and go to Jason Derulo Radio, and that's what I listened to on the
So I remember being super, super excited for that concert, and then low-key leaving the concert being like, that was great, but I don't know the words to as many of his songs as I thought I did. And that kind of solidified for me, like, I need to be studying these lyrics before I go to a concert, because that was not as enjoyable as I thought it was going to be. Still had a great time, but that's kind of why it's lower on the list. It was also the Iowa State Fair, so, like, it's not as big of a production. And then the worst concert I've ever been to.
that I can't even remember.
Ed Sheeran. Now,
Oh!
here's the thing. Here is the thing. Because I
totally
understand.
forgot about that.
I understand it. I understand Ed Sheeran's a great artist. This was definitely like
It's
a
not
venue
him.
event issue. Because we went and saw him at the
Last minute, too.
Newton, Iowa Speedway.
The IndyCar series.
He was performing at like this racing event, which like kind of crazy for them to get that name.
They get a lot of, not anymore, because like
Hy-Vee's no longer
not sponsoring it. So, but they got big names.
I don't even think that event's happening anymore. I think it's
so
just not a thing. So we were. I'm
in
not.
Wisconsin.
I wouldn't say I'm an Ed Sheeran fan. I do like his songs, and I understand like he's a very talented and gifted artist, but like he's just not someone that's regularly on my rotation. But when we were on our way back home, we were driving from like Wisconsin to Des Moines. We drive through Newton to do that, and like timing just kind of happened.
We were
to be
like, oh, we're gonna be like
out.
driving through Newton like about the same time that like this IndyCar show.
And I think tickets were like $100 something maybe. So like, I actually can't remember, but I think that sounds about right. And I was like, you know,
why
when
not?
are we ever gonna go to an Ed Sheeran concert?
So we get there, we like missed all the races because we didn't freaking care about races. And like by the time we're pulling up, we're like just pulling up to see Ed. We got a spot, and Ed comes out at some point, and like
we're not close. Like we're in like the grandstands. There is a little bit of like a pit area, kind of.
We didn't get pit tickets. And if you've never been to an Ed Sheeran concert, like he does this thing where it's like it's kind of like a one-man show in some ways, where he is like making the music and then like he will like play it back. Mm-hmm. And there's some songs that have like just a backtrack or whatever that he like is singing to. Or did he have a band? I don't even remember.
I don't remember. This was a very forgettable show.
The sound quality was so bad, you guys, that like it took me like 10-20 seconds when he like started saying like, what song is this?
It just was not good. And it could have been like the outdoor venue was probably not great for just like the setup and the stage. The speakers are probably not good. But I just remember like actively during the concert being like, dang, this isn't hitting quite like how I thought it was going to. Mm-hmm. And so it was a little bit of a disappointing show.
Yeah. I would be curious because I've heard like people go to his concerts. Like I feel like that's the best concert I've ever been to.
Right.
So I'm like, I need to like at some point.
Somehow, some way I need to get to one of his actual concerts. And he's probably like, I'm never doing something like that again.
Yeah, literally.
And the crowd was so not into it.
No, literally, I was like,
which is
you
part
guys
of the
can
thing
leave.
too.
The show, I'm like, the race is over if you're here for the race. No, it was so, that was the other thing that was off-putting. It's
like everyone's
like pretty
sitting.
bright out still.
It's like daytime. Everyone's
no one's
sitting.
singing. Everyone's sitting down. I was like,
we're at an Ed Sheeran concert right
like
now.
They used to before. I'm trying to like sing along, and I'm like, I'm kind of embarrassed singing along right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I forgot about that one. So, but I would say arguably, yeah, that was the worst one.
We've been to quite a few concerts.
Mm-hmm. Who is someone that you would like to see in concert that you haven't seen before?
I would say one of my top people, if he ever comes back.
I should look.
Harry Styles. Mm-hmm. I just, I loved watching stuff that I would see when he was doing Love on Tour. And, like, I am a Harry Styles fan, but I'm not. What are his fans called? Harry's? I wouldn't say I'm a Harry.
I don't know what they're called.
But I just really think he's a great performer. And I like most of his songs and music. Like, I think I would really get into that.
I would say Sabrina Carpenter would be a fun one to go to. I would have to, like, dive more, like, further into her discography.
Yeah, she would be fun.
Like, I have to, like, study for it. Because, like, there's songs that I definitely know, obviously. But, like, I don't know her backlog as much, like, before Short and Sweet. And then I didn't listen to, like, a ton of her newest album. So, but she'd be like, I think she probably puts on a great show, like from what I've seen on TikTok. I'd be curious. Hinterland is a festival in Iowa. I don't know how like widespread the popularity is. There are some artists that have been like popping up on my Spotify that I've been listening to.
We should prepare for next year to be like, would we go?
So I've heard honestly like good and bad things about the festival.
Yeah, Michael Marsaghi was there. I only know one of his songs.
So, but like the type of artist that goes there is like kind of the artist that I feel like my Spotify is like giving me more of. And so I think that it could possibly be a fun festival to go to. I've never been to a festival.
New experience.
Could be fun. Could be scary. So. Anyway.
That's all she wrote.
I think that's going to wrap it up for this music-themed episode. Let us know if you guys have any good or bad concert experiences, who was great in person to see and who like sucked live, so that we never go to their concerts. And if you're going to Jonas Brothers concert, what's your favorite song from their newest album? Or what's your favorite song from Life of a Showgirl?
There you go. With all that, we will talk to you guys in our next episode.
Bye.